Good morning, dear children. In the last videos, we have discussed about the two main forms of mechanical energy, isn't it? So, which are they? Kinetic energy and potential energy. What is kinetic energy? The energy possessed by a body due to its motion can be called as kinetic energy. Then, the energy possessed by a body due to its position, shape or state can be called as potential energy, isn't it? Now, today we will be learning about the conversion between kinetic and potential energy. So, few examples are given in your textbook. First, we will be considering a simple pendulum. Do you know what is a simple pendulum? A simple pendulum consists of a small mass called bob, hanged using a thread on a rigid support. So I don't have a pendulum with me. Anyway, I'll be sharing a video from YouTube. Then it will be more clear for you. Okay. So a simple pendulum consists of a small mass called a bob. This is the bob. Then it is hanged on a string from a rigid support. Okay. And what type of motion is there in the case of a pendulum? It undergoes oscillatory motion, isn't it? That is to and fro motion. Now, when you are keeping a pendulum like this, it is known as, or this position of the pendulum is known as mean position or rest position. Okay. So, this is called mean position or rest position. Now, when I just touch on this pendulum, what happens? It starts oscillating, isn't it? So, now it is in the mean or the rest position. If I just apply force in this direction, what happens? It moves towards right, isn't it? So, it moved towards right and it reached here. Then it will go only to a particular height. After that, what happens? It will come back, isn't it? So, from here, it reached this point. Then it will go back to the opposite side. Then again it will be moving back and this motion will be repeating, isn't it? And when it completes one circle or one complete to and fro motion, you will call it as one oscillation. Now, these 2 points of the pendulum can be called as extreme positions, okay? It's known as extreme position. Rest position or mean position means when it is in the center. Then once it starts oscillating, it moves to the 2 sides. So how much to what height it reached, that point is known as extreme position. So is it clear about the structure? When the pendulum means actually a small mass called bob hanged on a string, hanged using a string on a rigid support. Then at first it will be in the mean or the rest position. When you apply force, it starts oscillating and these 2 points can be called as the extreme positions. And what are we going to learn here? We are going to learn about the conversion between potential and kinetic energy, isn't it? Now, we will start from one corner or from the extreme position. Okay. So, first, at first the body will be in the rest position. Now, we will be taking it to one corner. Okay. See, I have raised it to one corner. And now, what about the state of the body? When I just keep the bob on my hand, here the body will be in the rest position, isn't it? At first, rest or mean position means when it is in the center. Now, I am taking it to one side. Okay. So, now it is not moving. So, when it is in the extreme position, we are going to start from this point. That will be easier for the explanation. Okay. This is mean position and these 2 are the extreme positions. Now, I just pulled the bob towards one end and then I am going to release it. So, it will be oscillating, isn't it? Now, when it is taken to this side, okay, when it is taken to this side, at first it is not moving. Since it is not moving, Will it possess kinetic energy? No, isn't it? Kinetic energy means half mv square, and kinetic energy depends on mass and speed or velocity of the body. If the body is moving, then only it possesses kinetic energy. So if I am holding the bob here, what about the kinetic energy? It will be zero because it is not moving. Now, it is raised. This is the rest or the mean position. It is raised to a greater height, isn't it? So this is our standard height. And from here, the bob is raised. So when an object is raised from the surface, what energy is there in that? It possesses gravitational potential energy, isn't it? So since the body is at a greater height from the mean or the rest position, this possesses what energy? Potential energy. Potential energy will be maximum at this point. The reason is it is at a greater height. Potential energy actually depends on the what? Height of the body, isn't it? Potential energy depends on the height of the body. So here what happens is when the bob is raised to the greater height, now at first it is not moving, so it doesn't possess kinetic energy, it will be zero, but potential energy will be maximum. Now when you are releasing the bob, it moves towards the center. So when it is coming down, what happens to the height? Height is decreasing, isn't it? So when height decreases, what happens to potential energy? Potential energy also decreases. So here the potential energy decreases, and by that time what happens to the kinetic energy? Kinetic energy increases. If a body is coming from a height means kinetic energy increases, isn't it? So when the bob, let me mark this point as A, this as B, and this as C. Okay. So when the bob is moving from A to B, potential energy goes on decreasing and kinetic energy goes on increasing. And when it reaches the point B, what happens? The bob will be possessing maximum kinetic energy and minimum potential energy. Okay, because when it reaches here, it is the mean position. Height is 0. If height is 0, potential energy will be 0. Then kinetic energy will be maximum. Okay, then when it moves to the other extreme, again what happens? Height is increasing. So from this point B to C, height is increasing means naturally potential energy goes on increasing, whereas kinetic energy goes on decreasing. Then it reaches the point C, and for a moment it stops there, and then it is coming back, isn't it? So at C, it will be possessing maximum potential energy, and what about the kinetic energy? It will be 0. Then again it will come back and the same thing will be repeated. Okay. So once again, at first we are considering a point A, extreme point. When the bob is here, kinetic energy will be 0 because it is not moving. Potential energy is maximum because height is more. When it comes to B, height decreases, so potential energy decreases, whereas kinetic energy increases because the bob is moving. Then at B, it possesses maximum kinetic energy and minimum potential energy. Then again when it moves to the next extreme, what happens? Kinetic energy goes on decreasing. Since height increases, potential energy goes on increasing. And when it reaches here, the point C, kinetic energy will be 0 and potential energy will be maximum. Okay. So we discussed about kinetic and potential in 3 different points. What about this point? Or in between A and B, or between B and C, what energy will be possessed by the bob? It possesses both kinetic as well as potential in between A and B. And when you check at any point, the total energy, kinetic plus potential is mechanical, isn't it? Total mechanical energy will be a constant or will be same at any point. Here if I am taking What will be the total energy? Kinetic plus potential. Okay. Then here it is potential plus kinetic plus potential itself. But here potential is 0. You will be getting only kinetic. Here you will be getting only potential. Kinetic is 0. But when you consider a point in between A and B or between B and C, both will be having values. And the sum of kinetic and potential or the total mechanical energy will be always a constant. Okay. So is it clear about the pendulum? You should know what is mean position, extreme points, then again how the energy conversion take place. What you have to remember is, if a body is raised to a greater height, it is potential. If it is moving, it is kinetic. So at any point when we check, the total energy will be a constant. That means it will be same. Okay. Now we will move to the next example. Next one is in the case of a roller coaster. I think you know what is a roller coaster, isn't it? In amusement parks and all, you can see roller coaster. So I have just drawn a roller coaster, a body, or you will be having a bogie like thing, isn't it? And it moves through this roller coaster. First, let the roller coaster be above the first hill. Okay. Then, what energy? At first, it is not moving. So, what energy is possessed by this at this point? It possesses potential energy. Kinetic will be 0. Now, first, when it starts moving, what happens to the potential energy? Potential energy goes on decreasing because height decreases and kinetic energy increases. Then when it reaches here, kinetic energy will be maximum and potential will be 0 at the bottom. Then when again it is climbing the next hill, what happens? Kinetic energy decreases, potential energy increases. When it reaches here, potential energy will be maximum, kinetic will be 0. Then when again it is moving down, what happens? Potential energy decreases, kinetic energy increases. And this is the energy transfer in the case of a roller coaster. Okay, so first when the roller coaster is at a greater height, it possesses potential energy due to its height. Once it starts moving, potential energy gets converted to kinetic, and again when it climbs the next hill, what happens? Potential energy increases. Okay. And now I think you have gone in a roller coaster. What about the speed of the body when you are climbing a hill and coming out, or when it comes down? When this roller coaster is moving up, the speed will be less, isn't it? And when it comes down, the speed is more. Can you tell me what is the reason? When you are moving in a roller coaster and when it is climbing the hill, it is not actually the hill. So when it is climbing, its speed will be less, and when it is coming down, its speed increases. So what is the reason? When it is climbing means here the kinetic energy is decreasing and potential energy is increasing. Kinetic energy depends on speed or velocity of the body, isn't it? So when it is climbing, when it is moving to the top, kinetic energy is decreasing. That means speed is decreasing. Okay, since the speed of the body is decreasing, kinetic energy also decreases. Now when it is climbing, potential energy is increasing and kinetic is decreasing. That is why the speed reduces. Now when it is coming down, what happens? Potential energy is decreasing and kinetic energy is increasing. That is why it comes down with a greater speed. Okay. Then one more thing, in a roller coaster, the first hill will be little bit bigger. Then when you come to the next hill, its height will be less. Have you noticed that? The height will be less when you are moving towards the what? At first the height will be more, then after that the height of the hills will be less. Do you know what is the reason? Maximum potential energy will be there and in the first hill. Okay. Now when it is coming down, what happens? Some part of the energy is lost due to friction and sound. You can hear a loud sound when it is moving, isn't it? So the energy stored in this will be lost in the form of friction as well as sound. So the energy will be less when it moves to the next hill. That is why the height of the hill will be less. Okay. First one will be at a greater height because their maximum potential energy is there. But by time, the energy stored in it will be converted to sound. Then due to friction, some part of the energy gets converted to heat. That is why the size of the hill decreases when it comes down. So is it clear about a roller coaster? So here also what you have to remember, moving up means potential energy increases, coming down means kinetic energy increases. Okay, so is it clear? Now we will be moving to the next part, that is in the case of a hydroelectric plant. So you know about dams, isn't it? So dams are constructed in order to store water, and this water can be used for irrigation purpose as well as for generating electricity. Now, at first flowing water from the rivers or lakes will be blocked by constructing the dams there. So flowing water means kinetic energy. When it is stored in a dam, that kinetic energy of the flowing water gets converted to potential energy, because in a dam water will be still, it is not moving. When water is flowing, it possesses kinetic energy. Then when it is stored in a dam, or using a dam, we are blocking the flow of water, isn't it? So water stored in a dam will be possessing potential energy. Now when the shutters are opened, water will be rushing out, and that means the potential energy of the stored water gets converted to kinetic energy, and this flowing water is made to fall on huge turbines of the generator. So that is how we generate electricity in hydroelectric power stations. So water stored in the dams possesses potential energy. When the shutters are open, water flows out, that is potential to kinetic. Then this kinetic energy or the energy of the flowing water is used to rotate the huge turbines. That means kinetic energy of the flowing water to mechanical energy, rotation of turbine. Then when a turbine rotates in between the magnetic field, electricity is generated. So this mechanical energy of the rotation of the turbine gets converted into electrical energy. Then so electricity is produced. This will be transferred to our different places through using the power lines, transmission lines. Then when it reaches, electrical energy reaches our house, then it is sent to the different rooms, isn't it? And if it is sent to the tube light, this electrical energy gets converted to light energy. If it is taken by a mixer or a grinder, then electrical energy gets converted into mechanical energy. If it is transferred to a heater, then electrical energy gets converted to heat energy, isn't it? So this is the way in which energy gets converted to different forms. So is it clear? In the case of a hydroelectric power station, water stored in the dams possesses potential energy. When it is shutters are open, kinetic energy, flowing water possesses kinetic energy, it rotates the turbine, again mechanical energy, this to electrical energy. Okay. Now with this, have you heard about law of conservation of energy? Law of conservation of energy states that energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. it can only be transformed from one form to another. Okay, so we are having different forms of energy around us. We cannot create or destroy energy. What can we do? We can only transform one form of energy into another. And this is known as law of transformation of energy. Okay, so is it clear? Then two more examples I think it is given in your textbook. One is how does a car work? Okay, so for that we are starting from the solar energy, that is energy transformation in the case of a moving car. Okay, so we start from the solar energy. Green plants convert solar energy into chemical energy, isn't it? During the process of photosynthesis, they absorb solar energy to prepare food, and the prepared food is stored in the form of chemical energy. Then, so solar to chemical. Now, when animals feed on plants, this chemical energy reaches the animals. When plants and animals die, what happens? They get decayed and they get converted to fossil fuel. What type of energy is there in the fossil fuel? It consists of chemical energy. Now this fossil fuel, petrol or diesel, is used in order to run the car. Then when it is used to run a car, actually fuel is there, and fuel, by burning the fuel, the car moves, isn't it? Burning of fuel gets, due to the burning of the fuel, what happens? Chemical energy gets converted to mechanical energy for the movement of the car. Okay. So, solar energy to chemical energy by green plants. It will be stored in the green plants. That when animals feed on them, this chemical energy is transferred to the animals. When plants and animals die and decay, it gets converted to fossil fuels, and the fossil fuels contains what? Chemical energy. Then when it is used to run a car, this burning of the fossil fuels, in this case chemical energy, gets converted to mechanical energy and the car moves, isn't it? Now the next example is in the case of free fall. Okay, conversion of energy in the case of free fall. So do you know what is free fall? When a body is coming down only under the gravitational force, we will call it as free fall. Simply, if you are putting a stone down, gravity will be pulling the stone down. At the same time, air resistance, friction, many things will be there. If you use the word free fall, no friction, nothing will be there. The only force acting on the body will be the gravitational force. Okay, so in the case of free fall, first you are keeping a body at a height. Okay, now if you are keeping a body at a height, what energy is there? It has potential energy in it. When it is released, it comes down. So this potential energy gets converted to kinetic energy. Okay, so is it clear? Then many examples for conversion is given in your textbook. So I'll tell you few examples. In the case of tube light, electrical to light energy. Heater, electrical to heat energy. Then what you can say, in the case of solar cells, solar energy to electrical energy. Firecrackers, in the case of crackers, firecrackers, what is the energy transformation? Chemical energy gets converted to light and sound, isn't it? So many types are there. So you can just have a look on the energy conversion. Okay, so is it clear about the things what we learned today? So we have just considered about the transformation of energy. Then which all examples? Simple pendulum, roller coaster. Then after that, in a hydroelectric plant. Then in the case of running a car, as well as in the case of free fall. Also you have to consider law of conservation of energy. Okay. Now you can take page number 66. I'll tell you the homework questions. Page number 66. In that, short answer questions. Short answer questions 5, 6 and 7. Name any two examples for conversion of energy between kinetic and potential. So you just name it. No need for explaining. Okay, just name any two. That is simple pendulum, roller coaster, etc. Then sixth is define law of conservation of energy. Seventh one, energy conversion in a steam engine and wind turbine. Steam engine. So earlier we had the steam engines, isn't it? So in that, coal will be burned. Coal is actually having chemical energy. By burning, this gets converted to heat energy. Then this heat energy gets converted to kinetic energy for the movement of the trains. Okay. So steam engine, since it is given, just as steam engine, what you can say, heat energy gets converted to mechanical energy, or chemical energy gets converted to mechanical energy. Then wind turbine means wind energy to mechanical energy. Sorry, wind, it is turbine. Wind turbine means there the wind energy gets converted into electrical energy. Okay. Then, since turbine is there, because we are having the generation of electricity using windmills. So when the wind turbine rotates, there it is wind energy. It gets converted to electrical energy. Then the next one, long answer. So you have to write question number 5, 6 and 7 from short answer questions. Long answer questions, question number 3, 4, 5 and 6. This is little bit explanatory. So don't make it so lengthy. You can just write it. Okay. Limit it. That means don't stop it with 1 or 2 sentences. Give importance to the energy transformation. And diagram is important in the case of a simple pendulum. 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay. So these many question answers you have to write. And I think since all these things are coming, no need to write lecture note from this portion. You can just write law of entire thing is coming. So no need to write the lecture note from this portion. Okay. You can just write the answers for these questions. Okay. So thank you, children.